without consuming your time on other things or about the syllabus of the CSAT, etc., etc. So let me start with the topic only. As I have given there in the schedule that uh, in the first 15 days or so, we will cover your quantitative part of the syllabus, and in the next 15 days or so, we will cover your reasoning part of syllabus, and in the next 15 days or so, we will cover your comprehension part of the syllabus. So these are the three major areas of your syllabus. So today I'm starting with the first chapter from the quantitative part of your syllabus. In that chapter I'm taking today, that is average, right? So beta, please turn your mics off, right? And whenever you feel need to talk to me, only then you please turn on your mics. Otherwise, keep them off, right? To avoid any disturbance, noise. And beta, one more thing, which I often, uh, you can say, tell you that kindly keep your cameras on, right? Cameras on, please. So the topic I'm going to discuss today, that is average, right? So average, first of all, little bit conceptual part, little bit theory part, which we should know here. So as regards the conceptual part or the theory part is concerned, in this part, first of all, we will talk about the meaning of the average. What is average, right? So we can say average is such a value, average is such a value that, or average is such a value within the range of, within the range of a given set of data, given set of data, which represents, right, which represents the entire set, right, which represents the entire values, the entire set of values there, right, which represents the entire set of values there, right? So we can say that from this meaning, we can conclude one thing, that let us, this is a set of data, and these are the various values in that data which have been given, which have been mentioned. These are different values, not the same values, right, which have been mentioned there. So what will be average? Average will be such a value that will fall within this range of data, right? And and which will represents the all other values in this set of data, right? So what can I conclude here? I can conclude that the average may be, right, I can conclude that the average may be one value among the given values, right? Average may be one among the given numbers, right? Among the given numbers, maybe one among the given numbers, or it may be, or it may be a number other than the given numbers, right? Other than the given numbers, but yes, it will definitely fall. It will definitely fall right? Between the between the maximum between the maximum and the minimum value of the given set of data. Maximum and minimum value of the given set of data. Okay, of the given set of data. So it is your responsibility to ask me if you don't understand something, right? So it is your responsibility to ask from me, right? So otherwise I will assume that you are understanding this. Okay, so I'm telling you that let's suppose there are some values. Okay, one value is 4, another value is you, let's suppose 10, and the third value is, let's suppose, 12, right? 12 we can say, or let us take it 13, right? So the total of these values becomes 27, and 27 divided by 3, that becomes equal to 9, right? So this is right, this has proved this. It means average is 9, but this average is not the number which is given there in the set 4, 10, and 13. But yes, definitely it falls right between the maximum and the minimum number given here, right? So 9 falls between 4 and 13. So that's why the average, this is the average, right? So this is the concept of average, I can say. So the next point is, that is the use of average. Use or utility of average, I can say, right? So as far as the use or utility of average is concerned, the first very important utility or the use of average, right, is that we can say uh, it it is used to summarize, analyze, or interpret the data, right? It is used to summarize, analyze, or interpret the data. So this is the point, right? Summarize, analyze, or interpret the data. This is the one utility of the average, right? And the second utility of the average is that it helps in, right? It helps in, we can say, it helps in, right, comprehending, and then comparing, and compiling, right? Compiling the huge data sets, right? Compiling the huge data sets. So that is the next utility of this average. And the third utility of the average is that, right, it saves the space and energy required for the storage of data, right? Required for the storage of data, because instead of keeping the very huge cumbersome data, right, we can only keep in mind the one figure, that is the average figure. So these are the three important utilities, three important uses of this, we can say, that is the average, right? So this is important to remember here. Okay, so that's the point. So now next to this, uh, we are moving further now, that in layman's language, okay, that in layman's language, okay, average is the value that is determined by, right, dividing the sum of the given values, by the number of values, right? By the number of values, right? As we did there in the previous example. In the previous example, what we did was, we were having three numbers, right? So one number we took 4, right? Second number we took, let's suppose 10, and third number we took 13, right? And what we did there in that case, we uh, right took the or we summed up these three numbers, and then we divide these numbers by the you can say number of numbers, right? So how many numbers are there? Three. So that is equal to 9, right? So this is how the layman considers the average is, right? So that's the point there, right? So now the next thing is that let me move on to the next point, that as far as the average is concerned, right? So in statistical, right, you can say terminology, in statistical terminology, we can say that statistics, sorry, average is of three types, right? In statistical terminology, we can say that average is of three types, right? And the various types of the average are, one is the arithmetic average, which is called simple average also, right? Arithmetic average, which is called simple average also, right? And the second is called the geometric average, right? Geometric average, geometric average. Okay. So this is the second, which is the geometric average, right? And the third is, we can say that is the harmonic average, right? Third one is the harmonic average. So these are the three types of averages, right? Which you must have, you can say, studied or done in your previous classes also, right? These are the three types of averages, I can say. Okay. So as far as these three types of averages are concerned, now we will discuss these averages one by one, right? Now we will discuss these averages one by one. About these averages, we'll discuss one by one, right? So let me move further. Uh, Now we are discussing about the, we are starting a discussion about the, you can say, arithmetic average, right? We are starting a discussion about arithmetic average, right? So as far as this arithmetic average is concerned, right? So arithmetic average is a very, is a simple average, right? So which we commonly use in our daily life, right? So arithmetic average is the simple average, right? Is the simple average which we use quite commonly in our day-to-day life, right? So how the arithmetic average is computed or calculated or determined, right? So for determining arithmetic average, for determining arithmetic average, what we do is we divide the, we divide the sum of observations in a set of data, right? Sum of observations means values in a set of data by the number of observations in that set of data, right? Number of observations in that set of data, and that you can say sum total, right? When divided by the number of observation, whatever the result comes, that is called the arithmetic average or the simple average, right? As we did in the previous slide, you can say, right? So we can say that let's suppose arithmetic average is equal to A, right? Let's suppose the sum of observations is equal to S. S means sum of observations. And let us take the number of observations as you can say N. N is the number of observations, right? And A is the average. Okay, so please bear this in mind. A is the arithmetic or simple average. Okay, arithmetic or simple average. S is equal to sum of observations, and N is equal to number of observations, right? Number of observations. So these are three things, right, in this. Okay, so if we have been given the arithmetic average and the number, then we can find the sum total of the observations. If we are given the you can say sum and the arithmetic average only, then we can determine the number of observations, right, by playing with this formula only. So that's the point here. Okay, so this is quite simple thing, right? So now let me move on to the further point, right? So let's suppose we have been given that right, that three individuals, right, are of heights, right, let's suppose 120 centimeter, right, 120 centimeter, 90 centimeter, and 75 centimeters, right? So what is the average height of the three individuals, right? What is the average height of the three individuals, right? So question, very simple question, right, which is there. So in this case, we will apply the arithmetic average, and as per the arithmetic average, we add all the observations, right? 120 plus 90 plus 75, right? So divided by what is there, the number of observations. So how many observations are there? There are three observations, right? So that is why the average would come, that is equal to 285, right? 285. So divided by 3, right? So that is equal to 95 centimeter. So the average height of the three individual comes out to 95 centimeters, right? So now let me tell one thing more here, right? That one important point is that these are the three values, 120, 90, and 75, right? And here is the average of these three values, right, which is the 95, right, 95 and 95. So this is the average of the three values, right? So now what we are doing, we will take the right deviation of numbers from their average, right? So it means if we see the deviation 120 minus 95, that is 25 plus, right? 90 minus 95 minus 5, 75 minus 95, that is minus 20, right? So it means what we can conclude here, that sum of right observations, sum of deviations of observations, deviations of, we can say, observations from their average, average is always 0, right, is always 0. So this is one most important point, most important derivation which is there. Okay, and the second important thing is that we have been given here numbers 120, 90, and 75. These are the three numbers which have been given here. Let's suppose we add a number, let's suppose 10, right, 10 to all the values, right, 10 to all the values, right? So it will become 130, right, 130, 100, and 85. These are the values, right? So now what is there? The total of values become 315, and divided by the number of observations, the average would become equal to 105, right? It means if if you can say, if all the values of observations, if all observations are increased by a number, say x, right, the average would also increase by the same value, right? Average would also increase by by x, right? So this is the another uh, important conclusion which is there. Now let's suppose we deduct a value from all the given values 120, 90 and 75, right? So let's suppose we deduct, you can say, right, 5 from all the values, right? Minus 5. Here I am taking minus 5 and here again I am taking minus 5. So the ultimate values become 115 and it is 85 and it is, you can say, 70. These are the three values now, and the total becomes 270 in this case. 270 divided by the number of observations, average becomes 90. So it means if the average, right, if we can, sorry, if all observations, right, observations are decreased by, right, decreased by the same value, right, say x, the average would also decrease by the same value, right? The average would also decrease by the same value x, right? The same value x. So this is the next point, okay, which is important. So next thing is that here is a 120, one value, second value is 90 and third value is 75, right? So let's suppose we multiply, right, all the given observations by a particular number. Suppose that is 4, right? 4 and 4, right? We multiply all the observations by a particular number, that is 4, right? So now what will be there? Here it becomes 480 and next here it becomes 360, right? And next here it becomes 300, right? So the total of new observations become, what is there, 1140. This is the total of new observations, I think. Okay, so 840 plus 300, 1140 divided by number of observations is equal to 3. Okay, so it will become, right, so 3 multiply, 3, 11 divided by 3, that is 3, 8. Yes, so that is what is there, 380, right? So that is the new average now. It means 380 is also equal to the old average 94 multiplied by 4, that is equal to 380, right? So it means the next, right, which we have concluded from here, that if all observations, right, are multiplied by a number x, then the average will also be multiplied by x, right? Then the average will also be multiplied by x. Okay, so this is the important point here. Average will also be multiplied by x. So I hope it's clear to you up to this point. Now the next thing is that let's suppose the given observations are 120, 90 and 75, and let us divide all the given observations by a number, right? Let's suppose we divide all the given observations by a number, right? And the number is, let's suppose, 5, right? We divide this observation also by 5 and we divide this observation also by 5, right? So the new set of observations that will become here, right? So that new set of observations, that is, you can say, uh, here it is 24 and the next it is 18 and the next it is 15, right? So these are the new observations now, and the total of these observations is 57, right? Total of these observations is 57. 57 divided by 3, that is equal to 19, right? So the next, we have concluded that, right, if all observations, right, are divided by a number x, right? Then the average will also, right? Average will also be, right, divided by this divided by the x, right? So this is the point, right? These are some theoretical concepts which are there related with the average, right? But I will teach you the practical aspect also, right? So please don't leave the class, because I think one of the students has left the class thinking that don't know sir will teach only theory, or sir knows practical also, right? So don't worry about that. That's my responsibility, that's my headache. Okay, so this is the point, right? So now with the next point is that let's suppose we have been given that there are five individuals, right? There are five individuals, right? Five individuals, okay, and you can say, right, their heights are, right, let's suppose 120 centimeter, okay, 120 centimeter, 120 centimeter, right, 90 centimeter, and 75 centimeter, and 75 centimeter, right? So these are the individuals whose heights are given. All right, so what is their average height? This is your question. So now what we'll do, according to the previous approach, we will do 120 plus 120, right, plus 90 plus 75 plus 75, right? So divided by it is 5, right? So we will divide it by 5, right? And we will write the average over here, right? So it means 240 plus, you can say 150, 390 plus 90, that is equal to 440, I think, right? 240 plus 150, that is 390 plus 90, 480, right? So that is 480, right? Is the total correct? Please check it, right? So it is that. Okay. So now what is there? So the average would become, you can say 96 in this case, right? So average would become, what is the average now? Average would become 96 in this case. Okay. So average is 96 in this case, right? So now if the average is 96 in this case, right? So this is the point, right? But the data can be given, right? The data can be given, can be presented, right? Otherwise also, right? Otherwise also means, right? There can be given, right? There can be given that that you can say, right? Uh, uh, Sorry, it can be given in this way, right? It can be presented in this way also, presented in this way also, right? So now how it can be presented? Let's suppose here is given that height of individuals, right? So here he has mentioned that 120 and 90 and 75, this is the height of individuals, right? And here he has mentioned that number of individuals, right? That how many individuals are there who are having this particular height, right? So 212, that is the number given, right? So beta in statistics, right? Let us say this height is known as x, let us say, right? And this number of individuals which is there, we say it f, right? So f means frequency, right? So what is the meaning of frequency, right? So frequency, right, frequency represents, right, frequency represents, right, we can say the number of right, number of observations, right, number of observations of, right, a particular value, right, number of observations of a particular value in a given set of data, right, in a given set of data. So that is known as the frequency. right? Right, like you can say in this set of data 120, right, occurs twice. So that is why that occurs twice means two times. So the frequency of 120 becomes 2, and 90 occurs only once means only one time. So the frequency of 90 becomes 1. 75 again occurs twice. So the frequency of 71 becomes 2, right? So keep it in mind that frequency is the number of observations of a particular value in a given set of data, that is known as the frequency, right? So beta, when this frequency is given, right, so then we can change our strategy, right? Otherwise we can do this way also, right? Otherwise we can change our strategy. We find the fx means first column multiplied by the second column, so that will become the fx, right? So in this case it is 240 and it is 90 and it is 75 into 2, that is 100 and this, right? So the total becomes how much? 480, right? So in this case, what is there? The average would be equal to, right? So sum of, right? Sum of the product of, right? Sum of the product of, right? Let me write it here. So sum of the product of observations, right, with their respective frequencies, okay, with their respective frequencies, okay, divided by, right, divided by the sum total of frequencies, right, divided by the sum total of frequencies. So that becomes the, you can say, average, right? So now let's suppose average is represented by a, that is equal to, right? So we can say that sum of product of frequencies and the observations, right? So sum of product of frequencies and observations, let's suppose it is called the sum of f multiplied by x, right? So this is this, and then divided by what is there? The sum of frequencies, right? We can write here that sum of f, right? Sum of f. So that is the sum of the frequencies, and that will lead to determine the average, right? So then in this case, the sum of the products, frequencies, and observations, that is 480, right? This column, right, adds up to 480, and now the frequencies is 480 divided by 5, right? So that is equal to 96, right? So total of the frequencies is 5. This middle column has been added up to 5, right? And this becomes the 96. That is called the, you can say this, it's a average, right? Average value. Okay. So are you getting me? Please tell me, type a message, because I am running fast now in this lecture. All right. So please tell me, everybody, right? So there are approximately 9-10 students in the class. Please tell me, everybody, so that I may, right? Otherwise, I don't know what's there. Okay. 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 So Medha are clear. Okay. What about other persons, right? Aman is, Mohan is right there, and Geeta is there. One is Geeta Gupta, one is only Geeta is there, right? And then Amarnath is there, Harshita is there, right? So Ashika is there, Amandeep is there. Are you getting better, right? Because that is important, you know, for me to know, right? Otherwise, if by the end of the lecture you will tell me that no, sir, we didn't get what you teach, so that will be a trouble for me also and for you also. Okay, so please come up, right? Mr. Mohan, you have not responded. Okay, so now the next thing is that, right? So whatever we have done so far, okay, so we have done the average, right? So I have told you that one is the simple average, which is the arithmetic average, right? And one is the, you can say that is the uh, average. Uh, uh, so one way of determining the simple average is the sum of observations divided by the number of observations, and second way is the sum of observations multiplied by their respective frequencies divided by the sum total of frequencies. That is also another way, right? So now beta, let me take here one example, right? Sarah, the principal, right, of a school, right? Sarah, the principal of a school, right, of a school, interviews, right, interviews two persons, right, interviews two individuals, let me say Helen and Peter, against a vacancy of a, right, mathematics teacher in her school, right, mathematics teacher in her school, right? So a selection test was held, right? The two candidates right, got the marks as below, right? Two candidates got the marks as below. So let me write here, okay? So subjects, right? It means the selection test was having various subjects, right? So as far as the subjects was concerned, so the next is marks by Helen. I'm writing Helen here only, right? And marks by Peter. I'm writing Peter here only. Okay. So this is the point here which is given. So now let us suppose that now we can take it that here are the subjects, right, which are there in their selection test. Right, the subjects in selection test, let's suppose there was one subject was English, right, in their selection test. And in English test, Helen got 80 marks and Peter got 60 marks in English test, right? The second was, let's suppose, social science, right? In social sciences, right, Helen got 96 marks, right? Helen got 96 marks, right? And Peter got, let's suppose, only and only 62 marks, right? Peter got 62 marks only in that test, you can say, okay, 62 marks only, right? And then the next subject was physics, right, was physics. In physics, let's suppose Helen got 64, right? And Peter got 80 marks. Peter got 80 marks. Next was chemistry, all right? Next was chemistry, okay? And in chemistry, let's suppose Helen got 60 marks and Peter got 60 marks in chemistry, both same, right? Next is biology, right? Biology. In biology, let's suppose Helen got 53, right? And Peter got, you can say, 82 marks in biology. Okay, so this is the point which is given here. So these many marks the other got in this subject. And the next is, you can say, mathematics, right? Let me write here maths only. So in maths subject, let's suppose Helen got 80 marks, right? And Peter got 78 marks. Okay. And the next is the child, let's suppose child psychology, right? In child psychology subject, right? Let's suppose Helen got 60 marks, right? And Peter got, let's suppose, 70 marks in child psychology, right? 60 and 70 marks are, right? They got these number of marks in this, okay? So now the question is that, right? So which candidate is fit for selection according to Sarah, right? So what can be done in this case? Please tell me. Hello. What would be the right option? What would be the right option in this case for Sarah? See, beta, as far as right, so Sarah thought that she has three alternatives. Okay, that she has three alternatives, right, to select the candidate. Okay, three alternative ways to select the candidate, or three alternative criteria to select the candidate. Okay, criteria to select the candidate. Okay, select the candidate, right? What are the three alternative areas? There you can say criteria, right? So one criteria, Sarah thought that, right, she can select a candidate on the basis of, right, on the basis of total number of marks. Okay, so Sarah thought that this is the one option before her. And the second option, she thought that she can choose on the basis of average marks. Okay, on the basis of average marks. And the third option, she chose that she thought that she can choose on the basis of right, on the basis of marks in mathematics. So these are the three options before Sarah, right? So let us take, right, if we take the first option, that on the basis of number of total marks. So as far as the total marks are concerned, right here, let me tell you that the total marks obtained by this person is 493 by Helen, and by Peter, the total marks obtained are 492. Okay. So now in this case, on the basis of the criteria of total marks obtained, so obviously her choice would have been Helen, right? Obviously her choice would have been Helen on the basis of total marks, on the basis of the average marks. If total marks of the Helen are, you can say, higher, then the total marks of Helen will always be higher, because n, which is the denominator number of observations, that is same in both cases, right? So then what will happen? The higher the numerator, the higher would be the value of average if the denominator is the same, right? So average, on the basis of average marks also, Helen would be the first choice, right? So on the basis of this, you can say next point, which is the on the basis of marks in maths. So that is also Helen would be the first choice. Do you agree with me? Helen is the first choice in all cases. Okay, hope you agree with me, right? So now the next thing is that, right? But right, but all of a sudden, right? All of a sudden, right? And right, an idea, right? She was sitting thinking that what should be done, right? What can be the appropriate criteria, right? Right. Then an idea flashed into her mind, right? Flashed into her mind, right? She called her assistant, right? She called on her assistant, right? Her assistant, and you can say asked her to assign the weightage to, right? To assign the weightage, right? Weightage to various subjects in selection test, right? Various subjects in selection test. Okay, according to the importance she thinks, right? According to the importance she thinks, and then determine the average, right? And then determine the average, right? Average, right? But you can see that, right, after few minutes, right, her assistant came with a new average, right? So what was the new average, right? So they write here that, right, her according to Sarah's wish, right? So our assistant, what, right, what did her assistant do, right? So he, what did her assistant do? So he, you can say, did this, right? So he, you can say, I'm just taking 1 minute of you. All right. Okay. Beta, please note it down. Hurry up, right? Because it is already 4. We have to finish it by 5:30. Okay. Otherwise, we would not be able to finish it in 15 days. Okay. But I cannot do injustice with you. So that is why, right, I would explain the entire concept in detail. Okay. So that's the point, right? So now, beta, what next, beta? So her assistant did one thing. So what did he do? What did her assistant do? Right? So he wrote the subjects English. Sorry. Right? He wrote the subjects like this English, then SS, social sciences, then you can say physics, right? Then chemistry, then biology, right? He wrote the subjects as this, then maths, and then child psychology. Okay, he wrote the subjects like this. Okay, and then what did he do? He assigned weights to them, right, according to Sarah's wish. So what weights, right, Sarah's required, right? Sarah thought that for her, the most important subject is mathematics because she is selecting a teacher for the mathematics. Okay, so that is why she, you can say, set the order of preference, right, according to the importance of the subject, right? She thought that English is the second most important subject for her, according to her opinion, that a candidate who is going to teach mathematics in her school, she must, he or she must be good in English as well, right? So, second, right, highest importance she gave to the this English, right? And SST, she gave last importance to that, right? Because SST teacher is teaching mathematics. What is the role of social sciences over there? Okay, and physics, she gave the third. She considered it as third most important subject for her, and chemistry, right? She considered the third least important subject for her, right? And biology, she considered the second least important subject her, and mathematics, she considered the most important subject for her, and child psychology, she considered the fourth most important subject for her, right? So it means she has assigned the weightage to the subjects according to the importance, right? Means the more important subjects according to her knowledge, right, or according to her thinking, should be given higher weightage, right? So now what is there? Now let us find that now what is the Helen's average now, right? So as far as the Helen's case was concerned, so Helen's was having, right, 80 marks in this, right, 80. Then she was having 86 marks, I think. Sorry, 96 marks. Then she was having 96 marks. And then in other subject, she was having 64. And in next subject, she was having 60 marks. In next subject, she was having 53 marks, right? In next subject, she was having 80 marks. And in next subject, she was having 60 marks. Okay. So this was there, right? So now what is this? Let us take it as X, right? And let us take the weight as W. Okay, W. So now what did what her assistant did, right? So he or she will multiply, you can say this, right, weight with the marks obtained by Helen, right? So what will he do or she will do, right? Multiplication of these two things, we can say, right? So as far as the multiplication is concerned, in this case she found that 480, 96 marks, and again 320 marks, right? And again 180 product is there, right? And again product is there 106, right? And again product is there 560, and again product is there, that is equal to 240, right? So now what will be done? The total will be you can see obtained, right? So in this case the sum of the product in case of Helen, that becomes 1982, right? And the total of the weight becomes, that is, you can say, oh, sorry, weight is this side. And the total of the weight becomes, that is 28, right? Total of the weight becomes 28, right? So now what is there? So now she will, her assistant will work out the average is equal to, right? So sum of, right, WX, weight and that observation, right, product of weight and observation, and divided by the sum of weight. It is same as we did in case of the frequency, sum of weight, right? So now what is there? Sum of the product of observation and weight, that is 1982, and sum of the weight only, that is 28, that is 28, right? 28, right? So on this basis, the average marks obtained by Helen are 70.786, right? Average marks obtained by Helen are 70.786. You can calculate it. I think there is no need to calculate, or do you think that I should calculate also? Tell me. Hmm? No need of calculation, or you think I should calculate also? Okay, no need, I think, right? So now, beta, what is there? What is there, right? So now let us take here the marks obtained by the other person. Who is other person? The other person is Peter, right? Marks obtained by Peter now, right? So let us write here that what are the marks obtained by Peter in this case, right? So as far as the marks obtained by Peter are concerned, right? So so the marks of Peter were 60. We did earlier also 62, 62. Now 80, okay, 80, and for the next subject those were 60, right? For next those were 82, I think, okay, and for next 78, okay, mathematics, and for the in child psychology he got 70 marks, okay. So now what is there? W into X, right? So in Peter's case this is X now, right? So now the WX would become, right, what is WX? So 6 into this 60, that is 360, right? Next value 1 into 62, that is 62, and next value 80 into 5, that is 400, and next value 60 into 3, that is equal to 180, next value 82 into 2, that is 164, right? And next value 78 into 7, right? So that is equal to, I think, 566 something. So that, sorry, 546 it will become, right? And the next value is 280, right? 280, 490 plus, yeah, yes, 280, right? So now the sum total of these values, right? W into X, right? So this becomes, you can say that that becomes 1992, right? 1992. So now the weighted average in case of this person is 1992, okay? So divided by 28, that becomes equal to 71.143. Okay, 71.143. So on the basis of this criteria, right, Peter should be selected, right? So ultimately, Sarah selected Peter because on the basis of the importance, right, to the subjects which were required, right? Let's suppose some person is, you can say, right, to be recruited for the against the science teacher vacancy, right? And the person has a 100 out of 100 marks in Sanskrit. So beta, 100 out of 100 marks in Sanskrit does not matter, right? What is important for you? Important is marks obtained in science, marks obtained in your mathematics, marks obtained in your English. So because mathematics has a role in physics also, and you can say English has a role in reading the science, right? So that is why uh, importance cannot be the same, right? So therefore, in such cases where the importance of observations to the user are not the same, right? So then weighted average is used, right? So please bear this in mind. So I hope the point is clear to you. Hello? Okay, so now I'm moving on to the next slide, right? Moving on to the next slide now. Okay, so as far as the next slide is concerned now, right? So now next we are going to do, right? Going to discuss that is the now. One thing is that, right? Such type of questions are also asked that in a class, right? Sorry, in a school, there are two sections of, right? Two sections of, let's suppose class sixth, right? Class sixth, right? The average weight of students of, right, section A is 16 kg, right? And that of section B is 18 kg, 18 kg, right? So find the average weight of the entire class, right? Of the entire class if the students in both the sections, right? In both the sections are let's suppose you can say 15 and 20, right? If the students in both the sections are 15 and 20 respectively. So this is your question, right? So beta, the basic approach in the arithmetic average, what is their total? Means sum of all observations divided by number. So this is the basic approach which will remain there in all questions, right? We have written it in the previous formula, that is S upon N, sum divided by number. Okay, so what is our first job? Our first job is we have to need the total marks of the entire class, means both the sections, right? So how to work out the total marks? I have told you that average is equal to sum of observations. Okay, average is equal to sum of observations divided by the number of observations. So this is what I mean average is. Okay, so now in this question we have given the average weight of students in class 16 and the number of students in that class are 15. So average, we have given this value A, right? A, and we have given this value N, right? So we need to find S first of all, because formula for average is a total sum divided by the number of observations. So that is why the sum of observations become average multiplied by number, right? So in this case, average is given 16 and the number is given, what is, that is 15, right? So 16 into 15, that is 240. So the total weight of students of section A, right, of sixth class, that is 240, right? And similarly, let us find the total weight of all the students in class in section B, right? Same formula, A into N, right? Average into N. So average given is 18 kg, right? And we can say N, which is the number that is given 20. So it becomes 18 into 20, that is equal to 360, right? So these are the, you can say, right? Uh, this is the total weight of the section B, right? And the total weight of both the classes would amount to 600 kg, right? 600 kg. 240 plus 360, that is equal to 600 kg, right? So now, what is the, right? What is the average weight of the entire class would be equal to total weight of the entire class, both the sections taken together, divided by the you can say total number of students, that is 35 students are there, 15 plus 20, that is equal to 35 students, right? So here, right, so when it is 35, so then in this case, right, the answer would become, right, then in this case the answer would become would be equal to, right, 35 ones 35 20, there is 240, 250, and 7 is there, right, that is 550, so 0.17. So it it can be, you can say, around this, you can say, right, its answer can be around this, around 6, sorry, around 5. 17.15 can be the average weight of the entire class, right? So beta, this concept is known as the concept of a combined average, right? So this concept is known as the concept of combined average, right? So this is known as the combined average, right? So when the whole population, right? Beta, in statistics, population means the right, the phenomena under study, right? So that is known as the population, right? So we can say the entire population, let's suppose, is divided into three groups. One group is this, and another group is this, right? And we have been given that in this particular group, right, the total number is 20, right? And you can say, right, the average income is, let's suppose 5,000, right, per head. And in this group, let it is given that the number is 25, right? And the average income of the entire group is given as 6,000, right? 6,000, right? So, and in this particular case, it is given that the number is 40, right? Number is 40, but the average income is 2,500, right, per head. So find the average income of the entire population. This is the question which is given to us. Let's suppose, right? So then in that case, what we can do, right? We will do in the first case 20 into 5,000, right? So that will become 1 lakh total, right? So total income of all the persons in this section. Then here 25 into 6,000, 1,50,000 is the total income of all the persons in this group. And then the next is 40 into 2,500, sorry, into 2,500, that will become 1 lakh, right? That will become 1 lakh. Okay. So this is the total income of all the three sections of the population, and divided by the total number of population, right? Total number 20, 25, and 40. So how many persons are there? They are the 85 persons are there, right, in the population. So then it will become, what is there? 3,50,000 is the total, right? So divided by, you can say 85, right? So that will become equal to, right? You can calculate this. So this is how the combined average is computed when we have been given the values of two or three sections separately, right? So that is the way that we calculate it, or we find the combined average. Okay. So I hope this is also clear to you. This point is clear to you, right? So now the next point, which is there, which comes there, the next point is there. Uh, okay, no problem. No problem. Okay, so now the next point is there. So what is the next point? Let us work out on the geometric average, right? Geometric average. मुझे लगता है शायद आज क्वेश्चन नहीं हो पाएंगे, क्वेश्चन के लिए हमें कल करना पड़ेगा. I will try my best, okay? Because concept clarity is more important than doing the questions only. So this is the geometric average. So as far as the geometric average is concerned, right? In geometric average, we can say geometric average is the geometric average of we can say, right, of n observations in a data, right? N observations in a data set, right, is the we can say nth root nth root of the product of, right, nth root of the product of all n values or n observations, right? So let's suppose we are given that, right? Let's suppose we are given that there are three values, or let's suppose we are given that you can say there are n values x1, right? Or let us take it a1. One value is a1, right? So multiply और इसको डॉट लगा देते हैं. Second value is a2, third value is suppose a3, fourth value is suppose a5, and similarly it goes up to an. So total values are how many? Total values are the, we can say, n values which are there, right? So now let's suppose, right, we have to find the geometric average of those. So what will we do? We will find the, we will multiply these values, and then we will find the, you can say, nth root, right, of the entire data, right? Nth root of the figure which will be there. So that is the geometric average, right? So I'm telling you that for the what purpose geometric average is used, right? So as far as the no, many of the questions I will have to first, you can say, do here, right, in your presence. So beta, only then you would be able to do that, right? So beta, the point is not to reach at the answer, right? The point is to use the, you can say, tricks also, right? Use the shortcut ways also, shortcut methods also, right, to know the smart calculations, right? Otherwise, all of you are graduate and you are intelligent enough, right? You can do the questions, but the point is that, right? So practice in my presence, and then assignment, and then your performance will be there. Okay. So so please bear with me. Don't worry, right? So ek din ki baat hai. Okay. So now the point is that, right? So as far as the geometric average is concerned, geometric average is applied when we need to find the compound growth rates, right? In case of compound growth rates, in case of finding the rates of return, right? Rates of returns on investments, right? Rates of returns on investments. So in such cases, right, population growth rate, you can say, in such cases, right? And in the questions of compound interest rate, right? So we usually follow these types of methods, right? So let us take one example here, right? Let us take one example here. So I'm given that, I'm giving you that a plant which is of 5 centimeter, right? 5 centimeter height, right? Increases at the rate of 10% per week, right? So find the, right, number one, right? One is the, find the number one, the height of the plant, after 3 weeks. Okay. And number two, that is the, okay, average growth of plant over the 3 weeks, right? Average growth of plant over the 3 weeks. So these are the two questions which have been asked to you. You have to solve these questions, right? So there are 3 plants, there is 1 plant, right? And let me take it like this, right? There are 5 plants, right? And 1 plant. The plant is of 5 centimeter height, right? So here is the plant. It is of 5 centimeter height, we can say, right? So in the first week, it increases by 10%. In the second week, it increases by 10%, right? And in the third week again, it increases by 10%. So now what is asked to us in this question, that after 3 weeks means that at this point, what will be the height of the plant, right? So this is your question, right? So 1 week, right? And second week, and third week, 3 weeks have gone, and we need to find that what will be the right height of the plant after 3 weeks, right? So this is 5 centimeter height of plant, right? And we have to find that what will be the height of the plant at this stage, right? And the rate of increase is at the rate of 10%. All right. So beta, in this case, right, we usually take it as this, right? We can take the formula as this, that is n is equal to I multiply by 1, right? 1 plus I can say, right? So r, right, upon 100, right, r upon 100, okay, upon 100, right, r upon 100, and right, r upon 100, and okay, and its power we can take right, t is the power, right? T is the power, we can say, right? So this is the way we solve it, right? So now the point is that it is important to know here that n represents the new value, right, after the rate of growth is considered, right? New value after the rate of growth is considered. So this is n. Okay. So now the next thing is, that is I. I is the initial value, right, before the rate of growth or fall is being considered, right? And R, right, R is equal to rate of growth, okay, per unit of time, okay, per unit of time. So that is there, right? And T is equal to units of time. So how many units of time are there? So that is the T. Okay. So one beta, please keep here one thing in mind, that in case, right, in case in the question there is given that right, there is fall in something at this particular rate, right? So then instead of plus here, we will use the minus sign. The rest of the you can say uh, solution will remain the same. Okay. So this is there. So now in this particular case, we have to find the n new value, right? And what is the initial value? That is 5 centimeters, right? 1 plus what is the r? R is 10 here, right? Rate of increase or growth per unit of time means rate of change per unit of time. We can say it's better, right? So change can be positive, change can be negative. So if it is positive, you use plus sign here. If it is negative, you can use minus sign here, 10 upon 100. All right. So now what is the next here, right? The next point is that bracket close. And now the power, which is the time units. How many time units are there? 3 time units, because we are taking here the rate of growth per week, and here are 3 weeks, right? So now what will be there? This is 5, right? This is 5, right, into, I can say here, right? So this will be cancelled out, right? So let me take it like this here, right? So this will be 1 upon 10 here, right? This will be 1 upon 10 here. Here I can write 1. Okay. So it will be 11 upon 10. Okay. So it will be 11 upon 10 here, right? 11 upon 10. Okay. So now if it is 11 upon 10 here, right? So the next here will be, you can say this is that. Okay. So the next here is the power 3, right? Is the power 3. So now what is there, right? So now it becomes here that 5 into 11 into 11 into 11. So this becomes 1331. 11 into 11 means 11 cube becomes 1331. And now 10 cube becomes 1000. Cube of 10, that is equal to this, right? So now what will be this? So this will become 5, right? 5 into 1.331. So this is this, right? So now let us multiply it. So the multiplying, sorry, after multiplication, it will become, right? So it is 5,000 and 100 15, 6,500, 6,650, 6,655. Okay, so it will become, right? So we can say, right, 6.655. I think this will be the point here. All right, so it should be like this. Right? Let me check it. You can also check the product, please. Right, so this becomes this, right? So it means the height of the plant after 3 weeks will be equal to this, right? After 3 weeks will be equal to this, right, beta? So beta, if it becomes difficult for you in this way, right? So let's suppose you forget the formula, then beta, what is there? After 1 week, 10% increase on 5. It means what will be the figure after 1 week? 5 was there, right? So 10%, sorry, 5 was there. 10% increase means 0.5 increase will be there, right? And the figure would become 5.5. All right. So after 1 week, this will be the point, right? So now beta, after 1 week more, 5.5 will increase by another 10%, right? So it will become, you can say 10%. That will become, you can say point, right? 55. Okay. 0.55, that will become 10% of this, right? So it means its total will become now 5.5 plus 0.55 increase is there. So the total will become 6.05 now, right? Total will become 6.05 now. So now again the increase will be 0.605. 10% increase of this becomes 0.605, right? So now the total height would become 6.655. So this is the total height after 3 weeks, right? So the height after first week is, you can say this only. Height after second week is, you can say this only. And height after third week is this only, right? So growth in first week is this much. Growth in second week is this much. Growth in third week is this much, right? So because this is the compound rate of increase, so that is why figures go on changing, keep on changing. So please, you bear this in mind, right? This is an important point to be discussed here, right? So either you can use the formula or you can do it as a layman also, don't worry, right? So both ways you will reach at the same conclusion, right? So don't worry. So now the next point was average growth of plant over the period of time. Now let us see total growth of plant. In now the plant is after 3 weeks 6.655 centimeter. Initially the plant was equal to 5 centimeter only, right? So now the total growth of the plant is 1.655 centimeter over the 3 weeks, right? So per week, what is the right growth of plant? So that will be equal to, you can say, right, that is 0.5, okay, 517 centimeter. So this is the average growth of plant per week. Is it clear to you, beta? Is the point clear to you, right? So I'm allowing you to speak now. You can speak also, don't worry. Okay. So tell me if any doubt to anybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay, clear? Clear? Okay.
सर ये 0.5517 सेंटीमीटर ये एवरेज ग्रोथ है प्लांट की 1 वीक में ना?
Yes, 1 week.
ओके ओके
सो किसी वीक में ज्यादा, राइट, क्योंकि वो ग्रोथ बढ़ती जा रही है ना. So that is why if we come on the average, so that will be between 0.5 and 0.605. The value, right, between that is this. Okay. So that's important value. Is it clear? Let me have one call. Okay. So now the next point is that, beta. Next comes, right? So let us suppose there is a question right? There is question. The question is that John, right, goes from his office to, right, to High Court, right, his office to High Court, right, uh, goes, let us write here that drove, right, from his office to High Court at the rate of 80 kilometer per hour, right, 80 kilometer per hour, and came back, right, and drove back, right, from High Court to office, okay, High Court to office at the speed of 120 kilometer per hour, right, 120 kilometer per hour, right? So what is the average speed of John in the entire upward and downward journey, right? In the entire upward and downward journey, okay, downward journey, if the distance between, right, if the distance between his office and High Court is 200 kilometer. His office and High Court is 200 kilometer. Find this, right? So in this question, right, so one point is asked, right, that find the average speed, right, find the average speed. One point is this, which is asked here, right? And second question in reasoning on the similar basis can be asked the second question, right, that which of the informations given above is, we can say, right, is, right, superfluous means which was not required there at all, right? So which information is superfluous? So these two types of question can be asked on this basis, right? So I think there is no superfluous information. Do you agree with me? Is there any superfluous information in this? Do you agree with me? Hello? I'm saying that you can say there is no superfluous information.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No information, sir. Superfluous.
Okay. There is no superfluous information. Okay, right. Okay, beta. Okay. So I think everybody agrees with me that there is no superfluous information. Okay. So now, beta, tell me what is the average speed in this case? Tell me what's the average speed. Yes. Hurry up. Very easy question. Tell me what's the average speed. Anybody? 100. Asika 100. Okay. Anybody else? Ayman, Mohan, Sumedha, right? Harshita, Geeta Gupta, Mohan, again, right? Asika, Burhan. So what is the average speed? 100. Okay, good. Good. Anybody else? Hurry up, beta. What's there in your mind? Why are you not responding? Yes. Amarnath, is it 100? 100, okay. Ayman, is it 100, beta? Sumedha, 100. Okay. Aman, is it 100, beta?
No, sir. Not 100, but have to calculate.
Okay, you have to calculate. Okay. Harshita is 100. Geeta, don't know.
100 नहीं है बट फिजिकली डिस्टेंस भी दे रखा है तो उसको भी कंसिडरेशन में लेना पड़ेगा क्योंकि सुपरफ्लुअस है ना तो कोई भी सारी इंफॉर्मेशन यूज पे लानी पड़ेगी.
Okay. So right. So beta, see, this is the common mistake which is committed by the students in their examination hall. Right? What they do, two speeds are given, 80 plus 120. Right? They do the sum of these two values and divide it by 2, right? And they give the answer that is equal to 100 kilometer per hour, right? And they said that my question is correct, my answer is correct, but this is the wrong approach, right? Because we need to understand the concept, right? The concept, right? Until and unless you don't go for the concept, right? Use of formula, right? With the common sense is good, right? Use of formula without sense is very harmful, very dangerous. Okay, so that is why, right? बंदूक की तरह होता है कि बंदूक किसके हाथ में है, right? अगर वो किसी समझदार के हाथ में है तो वो अच्छा काम करेगी, और अगर वो किसी
96 point something.
Okay, तो बेटा yes, तो बेटा now बेटा this is a big mistake. You must please understand that average speed, right? You must please understand that average speed is equal to total distance, okay, is equal to total distance traveled, right, divided by the total time taken. Okay, so that is the, you can say, the total the average speed, right? Total time, right? Total time, right? जैसे बेटा आप कहीं आप जाते हो गाड़ी पे, है ना? Let's suppose you can say, right, leave from home at 6 a.m. in the morning and you reach your destination at 4 p.m. in the evening, right? Then you see that right, in, you can say, 10 hours time, right? So we have covered, right, let's suppose right, 800 kilometer distance. So then you work out that right, our speed is 80 kilometer per hour, right? So what you are doing there, you are dividing the total distance covered by the total time taken by you, right? So the average speed is total distance divided by the total time taken, right? So now beta, in this case, right, so approach one, or we can say method one of solving this question, please note. Okay, so one method is let us suppose the total distance in this case, the distance between the office and the high court is how much? 200 kilometer. 200 kilometer up, 200 kilometer down. The total distance is 400 kilometer, right? This is the total distance, right? And the time taken in the upward journey, 200 kilometer at the rate of 80 kilometer per hour, right? The time taken would be, you can say, 5.2 hours, right? 5.2 hours. This is the time taken, right? And on the downward journey, the time taken would be 200 divided by 120 speed, right? So that is equal to 5.3. This is the total time taken, right? 5.3 hours, right? So now, according to this formula, right, according to the common sense, total distance covered 400, right, and divided by what is there, the total time taken, that is 5.2. Okay, 5 upon 2 plus, we can say, 5 upon 3, right? 5.3. So that becomes equal to right, that becomes equal to, we can say, 400, right? So that is divided by, that becomes equal to 400 divided by, right, you can say 25.6, right? So 25 upon 6. So this is divided by 25 upon 6, right? And now it would become 400, right, into 6 divided by 25. So now there will be the solution, right, divided by 25, right? So the average speed comes out, that is the 96 kilometer per hour, right? So this is your answer. Average speed comes out 96 kilometer per hour. Okay, so one approach is this. Is it clear? First method clear to you? Okay. Okay. So now the next point. All right. Now the next point is, beta Sumedha, I am telling you, beta, for the verification of your answer, right? So please bear it in mind that the average would also be between the minimum and the maximum value, right? So, right. So beta, if average is not coming in those two values, between those two values, that means our answer is wrong, right? So this is very simple test beta. Okay, okay, no problem. Nothing to say sorry, right? We are all learners here. I can also commit mistake, right? So I'm also like you. So now the next point is there. The second method, right? Method 2, right? So beta, method 2 is that you see Mr. Johan goes from office towards the High Court, right? And then he comes back from High Court towards the office, to the office, right? Okay. Okay. So beta, in this case, what is there? Distance is constant. Okay. Distance is constant. It is not going to change. Agree with me? Distance is constant. It's not going to change. I hope you will be agreeing with me. Okay. So beta, in such a case, when the distance is constant, right beta? So, and the speeds are given, one speed is 80 kilometer per hour and the other speed is given, that is 120 kilometer per hour. Okay. So beta, in this case, right, you can assume any amount of distance, right? Any amount of distance, right? Whatever comes into your mind, but I suggest you to keep the calculation simple, right? So you can assume a distance which is in the multiple of 80 and 120, right? Common multiple ho. Let's suppose 240 is the common multiple, right? 480 is the common multiple, right? 720 is the common multiple of. So any figure which is in the common multiple. So let's suppose the distance between the High Court and office of Johan is 240 and High Court and office of Johan return journey is also 240, right? So now beta, time taken for the outward journey 240 upon 80, that is equal to 3 hours, right? And time taken for the return journey 240 upon 20, that is equal to 2 hours, right? Total distance traveled is 480 kilometer, right? Divided by time taken is 5 hours. So the average speed is 96 kilometer per hour. Okay. Average speed is 96 kilometer per hour, right beta? So this will make your calculation easier. Okay, understand? Right. So now beta, now come on beta, this slide, right beta? The question was which of the information given above is, you can say, superfluous. So superfluous information, the distance which is given here, that is, you can say, superfluous. We can even calculate without this distance. Okay. So this can be such type of questions are asked in the reasoning. Okay. So this is the point. I think clear. Second approach is clear. Okay. And now beta, third approach, right? Third approach beta, on the basis of which, right, we, you can say, teachers, academy owners, right? Right. So we try to make you fool. So how beta? Right. So we tell you that I'm giving you shortcut, right? Shortcut. Right. So many books are there in the market which have mentioned the shortcut there, right? So today I will clear you the fundamental of that shortcut also. So what is the shortcut there? They beta said that if the two speeds are given and the distance is constant, they used to say that apply the formula shortcut 2ab divided by a plus b, right? 2ab divided by a plus b. They used to tell you that this is the shortcut, right? So apply this formula and you will reach at the answer, right? 2ab over a plus b. This is the formula they say you, right? So now what is 2ab? Right, a is one speed, b is second speed, means one observation and two observation, one of. So now here it is given 2 into 80, one speed, and the second observation is 120, right? And divided by what? Divided by the sum of observations. So what is this? This is beta 80 plus 120, Okay, so that will become equal to, right? So what is there? This is 9600 into 2, right? 192, right? 00. So divided by 200 again, right? Divided by 200 again. Okay, so zeros will be cancelled out. Okay, so now what is there? 190 upon 2, that is equal to 96 kilometer per hour. So the average speed becomes 96 kilometer per hour, right? So this is the third approach. Okay, so but beta, I suggest you don't follow blindly. What are the shortcuts? What are the formulas over there? Don't follow blindly, because beta, let's suppose I have told you that you can say this is the shortcut, right? So then what will be there, right? So you will cram this, that it is quite easy, right? So if instead of 2 values there are given 3 values, this formula would not apply, uh, right? Would not suit there, right? So for that you have to learn another formulas, right? So I think you will become overburdened with the formulas. No, right? So we don't need to, right, go for the formulas. So many formulas, I never recommend, right? I never recommend, right? Just understand the concept. Actual beta क्या है, right? के average speed, right, is the harmonic mean of the given observations, right? Harmonic mean of the given observations. So please bear this in mind. It is the harmonic mean of the given observations, right? And what about the formula? Okay, beta, superfluous means does not mean कि which approach you are following. Superfluous means that without which information you can find the answer, right? So you do not need 200 kilometer to be mentioned there, right? Even without that you can go for the answer. So that is why the, right, there is no need to give that, you can say, distance over there. Okay, so that information is superfluous, we can do without that also. So that is why we are saying that it is superfluous information.
सर सर जैसे इस क्वेश्चन में आपने डिस्टेंस को सेकंड अप्रोच में कांस्टेंट मान लिया था, जैसे अगर 200 का हमें जरूरत नहीं पड़ा उसमें, जैसे और कौन से केसेस होते हैं जहाँ पे हम डिस्टेंस को कांस्टेंट मान सकते हैं?
बेटा डिस्टेंस, बेटा यहाँ तो इट इज बेटा वेरी मच क्लियर, राइट? बेटा हाई कोर्ट अपनी जगह पे है, राइट?
Yes,
एंड
sir.
बेटा मतलब ऑफिस अपनी जगह पे है, राइट? बेटा बोथ, राइट? बोथ द वी
Okay.
कैन से थिंग्स आर,
Unless की जो ऑब्जेक्ट्स मूविंग हो तब तक हम
yes, okay beta, both are the
okay.
both are static things. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so that's why, right? So now the next thing is average speed is the harmonic mean of the given observations, right? So now beta, what is the harmonic mean, right? So please try to understand it. The harmonic mean, right? Harmonic mean, what is the harmonic mean, right? N, right? N, let me write here N, then I will tell you that what is this N. Okay, so harmonic mean is, we can say, N, right, divided by the, okay, N means number of observations, right, divided by the sum of inverse of observations, right? Sum of inverse of observation means, let's suppose first observation is 1 upon x1, right? And the second observation is, let's suppose, 1 upon x2, sum of inverse of observations I am telling you. And the third is, let's suppose, 1 upon x3, and similarly plus up to plus, right, 1 upon xn, suppose there are n observations. Okay, so sum of inverse of observations, right? So this is the harmonic mean beta, right? So now beta, what is there? So n is given, in our case n is 2, because there are only 2 observations are given. Okay, clear beta? N is only 2. Okay, and now beta, what is there? The 2 observations which are given, the sum of their inverse. It means 1 upon 80, one of the observations, plus you can say 1 upon 120, the other observation, right? So now beta, what will be there, right? I'm just telling you what will be there, beta. You can do it anyway, right? So one way is beta that 2, right? 2 divided by, right? So what will be there? There beta, LCM would become, right? LCM of these two observations would become 80 into 120. That will be the, right? Let's suppose common multiple, not sorry, LCM. 80 into 120, we can take it here, right? Sorry, 80 into 120. I have written it wrongly. One second, right? So now beta, it is here 80 into 120. This is the denominator, and the numerator will be 120 plus 80, right? So what is there beta? So this has become equal to, right? What is this? 2 into 80 into 120, right? So beta divided by, right? Divided by, what is this? 80 into 120, right? So what is this beta? This is the same thing which I have told you that it is the shortcut, right? 80 plus 120, sorry. 80 plus 120. This is the same thing as I have told you that beta, this is the shortcut. So beta, I mean to say that actually that is not the shortcut. Actually, that is the harmonic average, right? So beta, if you know the basic concept, then beta, there may be 3 values, there may be 4 values, there may be 5 values. You need not to remember the formulas, and you are not going to commit any mistake there. I'm very much sure, right? Right. But if you try to cram this formula, then the moment there are the 3 values, so you will get you can say confused. Okay. And you will do the wrong, because for 3 values, the formula will be changed in this case. Okay. So beta, please try to know the concept, the basic concept which is there, right? So beta, right? So beta, you can solve it the way you like, right? So beta, you can assume it 240 also here, right? LCM can be 240. You have only to solve this, right? So beta, this is the 4th approach. Okay, 4 methods I have told you. Okay, and the best of the 4 methods, right? So beta, which I prefer to use, I prefer to use this method, which is the second method, right? No burden, right? Assume the distance, then find the time, right? Distance plus distance divided by time plus time. That's equal to the answer, right? So, but still, I have told you about the harmonic mean also, right? So now beta, last point, which I'm about to tell you. The last point is that, right? So geometric average, please bear this in mind. Geometric average is used in case of, right, compound rate of change. Compound rates of change, right, means rates of change over the period of time, like population growth rate, bacterial growth rate, viral growth rate, etc., whatever it is there, right? Change means growth or fall, right? Both ways. Right. And to find the right, when the rates of return are given, in those cases also, right, rates of return, and in cases of the compound rates of interest, right? So we use that type of case, right, in this, right? And beta, right, in all questions, right, related with the average speed, right, related with the average speed. Okay, so apply the harmonic average. Okay, apply harmonic average, which I have told you, formula is there with you, right? So if you have not noted, I can tell you again, right? So in beta, all the rest cases, right, in all the rest cases, arithmetic average is applied, right? Arithmetic average means simple average is applied. So please bear this in mind. These are the 3 important takeaways from today's lecture. So is it okay? Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. So thanks for tolerating me today. for 2 long hours. Okay, so but still I could not complete the lecture. Right? So कोई बात नहीं. I hope you will forgive me for that mistake. Right, so I'm now taking leave, right? So please, all the 10 students, please give me the feedback of today's class on your on my WhatsApp or on my Telegram. Okay, so that's important, right? So if any student feels difficult, or if any student finds it not up to the satisfaction level, so you can please tell me, right? So I can work on that again, right? So to make it more beneficial for you, more interesting for you, right? So this is today's lecture, right? So tomorrow we will discuss the problems also, right? So beta, usually some of the students, right, right, I would expect your feedback on that WhatsApp or Telegram, right? Usually some of the students beta ask from me that, sir, please give us the day wise schedule of your lectures, right? So I feel sorry from them, right? So that's not possible for me, right? Because the way I teach, right, I have to go into detail. So I cannot do injustice, right? So whatever is there in my mind, so I always, you can say, right, try to deliver to you. So therefore it takes time, beta, right? So please don't mind, right? कि सर स्लो हैं, है ना, सर टाइम ज़्यादा लगाते हैं, सर की क्लास मतलब लंबी हो जाती है, राइट? ऐसी चीज़ों को प्लीज़ बियर ना करना, सॉरी माइंड ना करना, राइट? सो दिस इज माय weakness, you can say, right? So I cannot improve this, right, for the long time in the past, but I know this is my weakness, right? But still I I beg from my students to bear with me. Okay, so not an issue. So I will wait for your feedback on WhatsApp. Uh, okay, so please, thank you very much. So
Thank you so much, sir.
okay, beta, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
We will meet tomorrow again in this class and morning in the GS class. Okay, so
Thank you, sir.
by then, okay, take care, beta.